This is the Neds NRL Punting Podcast with Jharal Yow Yeh, Chris Garry and Jared Timms.
G'day punters, welcome to episode 12 of the Neds NRL Punting Podcast. Thank you very much for lending your ears to another week of footy chat and betting. We're thrilled to have you. Very special welcome to all of our viewers this week too. This is going to be the first episode filmed in full and available on our YouTube
High
channel.
definition.
Where you can finally see our mugs in full force.
For 45 minutes straight. Just keep going.
Suckers. Really brings a new meaning to mug punting. My name's Jared Timms. Joining me, as always, 60 games for the Broncos, 3 each for the Maroons, Kangaroos, Indigenous All-Stars, Jharal Yow Yeh.
G'day, punters. It's good to be back.
Former Channel 7 Courier Mail journalist Walkley winner Chris Garry.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
I was expecting another g'day punters there, to be honest. And he's going to be joining us for the entirety of every episode moving forward. He's wearing almost the same jumper as me, I've just noticed. It's the form guide Fonla.
This is a little bit embarrassing. I spilled something on my shirt before we started, so I whacked it on, and now I've seen you.
I was wearing the same shirt that I was wearing for last week's podcast.
Twins! This is great. I didn't even notice that.
Awkward.
Yeah. For those watching on YouTube, a couple of champions and a couple of champions.
Who wears the
Young
best?
days.
We need to do a vote. Can we do a poll on YouTube?
A fashion show?
Oh,
Yeah.
not the
Yeah, good.
polls again. Jesus.
Nah.
We're already well and truly off track. Welcome to the episode, punters. Thrilled to have you. Of course, round 12 of the NRL is Indigenous round. Jharal, like I say at the top of the show every week, 3 games for the Indigenous All-Stars. You're a proud Indigenous man.
Yeah.
Can you give us a little bit of insight as to what this round means to you, the community, young Indigenous boys and girls coming up through rugby?
Yeah, I think for me personally, it's huge for the game. It's another week for us to learn a little bit about First Nations people, the oldest living culture in the world. I just saying that gives me goosebumps and makes me feel good to be who I am, and to showcase our absolute stars that are in our Indigenous players around the game as well. If you go back and think about some of the best Indigenous players that have played, now there are kids who are aspiring to be this day and age as best Indigenous players. So yeah, it's a very important round, and not only that, it showcases some of our great artists around Australia as well that get to jump on the jerseys and do their families and their mob proud. So I know for the Broncos jersey, I'm very proud that my cousin was able to design this jersey, Casey Kuel Fisher. So a very proud moment in our family that she was able to do that and collaborate with some of the players there to put all their totems on the jersey. And I have no doubt that's probably the same case for a lot of other teams in the NRL at the moment too.
Indigenous players are given so much to rugby league, and I just think about rugby union, their lack of Indigenous players and what they're missing out on. And I think the NRL should be absolutely thrilled that we have such a high participation. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
We did this on the AFL show, but do you have a top 5 Indigenous list of players all time?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, put me on the spot, but I would say in no particular order. I would have to say JT, Greg Inglis, played with both of them. Mango, Matty Bowen as well.
Yeah.
Preston Campbell. It was my all-time favourite because when I was growing up, he played above his weight and had no right to win a Dally M when he was playing in the game. So yeah, for me, he was up there as well. But I can't go past you, Justin Hodges. Sam. But the main man of all, Arthur Beaton, who started us for us all. Who made us hate that state down south, New South Wales, and was the number 1 player, the first ever player, and the first Indigenous player to captain the Great Maroons. So. Yeah, all over the park in all walks of life in this game, there are still great Indigenous people involved, not only on the field but in staff all around the place as well. So yeah, no, it's a special week and very, very excited to be able to be a part of it.
Absolutely terrific round of footy this weekend as to very, very fitting. State of Origin just around the corner. So close, in fact, that teams for Game 1 are going to be selected after the conclusion of round 12. How are we all feeling? Who's going to win the series?
Yeah, Queensland.
Yeah. I'm actually looking at some of the unavailable players for the Blues. I think Queensland does have a legit opportunity for the first time in a couple of years. Obviously, the work the great man Wayne Bennett did in 2020 was pretty incredible. But I guess it's a really gettable series.
As you've touched on there, Chris, Brad Fittler is going to be dealing with plenty of key injuries as he attempts to pick a side to defend New South Wales 2021 series win. Of course, Billy Slater picking his first Origin side in Game 1. More importantly, the four of us have also picked sides for Game 1 State of Origin. We're going to go through those right now. How do you think we should do this? Should we go state by state, person by person?
Yeah, I think we just go fullback, wings, wing pairings, centre pairings in states. Yeah.
All right, let's start with New South Wales. Game 1 is in Sydney, of course. Fullback for me, James Tedesco.
Yeah. Easy, it's in the books. Pretty easy. I never thought he was going to lose. He's a captain, and he's not playing bad. We're, obviously with the likes of Ryan Pappenhausen playing outstanding, you still look at Teddy's numbers. They're ridiculous.
Last month he's been on fire. He's been sensational.
Yeah, so we can't go past him.
The only people that you would consider picking in fullback for New South Wales in place of him are Pappenhausen, injured, Turbo, injured.
Yep.
Obvious choice. Wings, New South Wales.
Adokar.
Yep. And?
Toto.
Yep.
Yeah, easy.
It sounds like we're all in agreement.
It's a lock. It's a lock for both.
Pretty obvious ones. Now, here is the most contentious, in my opinion, in the back line. Who are we picking in the centres?
I've gone with Katoni Staggs to make his debut and Stephen Crichton.
Yeah. Same here, actually. I don't think it's contentious at all. I think they're sort of separated from the pack. Yeah, I think it's Crichton and Staggs. They're
very, very good in attack and defensively shown after round 11 rounds, they can kick it with the best. So
Jack One's the only other option, really. And I know Fittler likes, he's a loyal guy, so he is a chance. He's a good chance.
Halves.
Yeah, it's easy. It's Luai Cleary.
Yeah. The amount of Penrith influence on this team, even picking Stephen Crichton at that centre position,
it makes
standing
sense.
next to
It
Tom,
makes sense. Yeah,
all of it makes sense. Yeah. Who are we picking in the front row for New South Wales?
I've gone Haas and Big Junior Paulo.
Yeah, likewise.
That's exactly what I've gone.
There's not a lot of contentious decisions being made.
No.
To be fair, I
we've
think
got the same notes
team. To be fair, I picked mine after I read all of yours.
We've done all these out of our own.
Now, in all seriousness, I think it's going to be a little bit more contentious for the Maroons jerseys. Hooker. Now, this one should come into a little bit of question, at least for us, Jharal. On unpopular opinions this week, we both selected Apisai Kurosau as the best hooker in the game at the moment. Have you selected him in the Blues?
I didn't. And the reason why I haven't is if it's not broken, you don't need to fix it. And I think the way that New South Wales has gone over the last 15 years, that's been their biggest mistake. Is they've kept swapping positions. Like Damien Cook might not be a standout hooker at the moment, but he is the New South Wales hooker. And you cannot take that away from him. He's going to have to either be injured or be dead last, I think, on the ladder to being able to not play. And even then, he's got to be playing crap footy. I think Damien Cook is a shoo-in for the hooker role. And if Brad Fittler doesn't think so, he's doing something wrong.
And obviously Appy as well with his dalliances.
Yeah.
Probably hasn't helped him.
No.
Yeah.
No. Did get a game last year though, Appy, so it wouldn't be a terrible selection, but I can absolutely agree with everything you're saying there about Damien Cook. Back row, this might be where we disagree a little bit.
I've gone Liam Martin and Cameron Murray.
Same.
Yeah, so have I.
Okay. Have we all picked Isaiah Yeo?
Yeah.
All right, bench. This could change a little bit.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I think Nico Hines. I mean, I think the only reason I think Nico Hines, I'd love to see Jack White and, obviously be slotted in there, but Nico Hines' form at the moment is out of this world. What he's done with that Sharks team, obviously he's had some help, but he's done a great job to transition from Melbourne. You see players leave there and go to the shit. Yeah. He hasn't. Yeah. He's actually probably gone up a level, I think, in that position. And he's going to cover both sides of the field, fullback. I think Jack White and Ken as well. But I just think Nico Hines' form really picks him himself.
Yeah, he could play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think even 8, 9, 10. He could play literally anywhere because he's a big guy. So maybe,
I think White only has him covered on size. That's about it.
Yeah,
at the moment, anyway.
He's a big boy, Jack is. Yeah.
I don't think you gain anything more by picking a player like that for size. I think we're going to build out the rest of our bench here with forwards. Now, I've gone Regan Campbell-Gillard as an extra prop. I've gone Jake Trbojevic. Hasn't been in the best form of his career this season.
But it's the same thing.
Exactly. Pick again. And he's a big game player as well. He does tend to keep his best footy for this sort of occasion. And I've picked Angus Crichton.
Yeah.
He's another.
I've gone Kaloma Tangi.
Right.
It's a good shout.
I think Angus Crichton's not playing well.
Yeah, it's a good shout. I was really reluctant to pick him, but I thought to myself, I can't go back on what I've been saying about just pick and stick, and that's what New South Wales hasn't done great in the last 15 years. So I've just gone. Brad Fittler will have. I think he'll.
I'll tell you what. If New South Wales lose game 1, Cook will be the first player dropped for Clarissa.
Probably.
Absolutely.
Yeah. He's my 18th man. I know we didn't say we'll have an 18th man, but I picked him for 18th
It
man.
would be between him and Jack White. Just on everything that we've spoken about there as well. Number 1 for Queensland, Kalen Ponga.
Yep. Bang on.
I was, you know what? I don't want to be a negative Nelly, but I was a little bit nervous to pick him. I only think he's played really good. Not even really good, but he's started to step up in the last 2 weeks. And it probably has to do with his contract talks. I know it said it didn't affect him at training, but you can see that once he has settled that, he started to play a lot better footy.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I picked him,
And there's a few other options. I mean, AJ maybe, Valentine Holmes back there maybe, but I think it's Ponga's really the only option.
Do you think if they lose game 1, they consider another option? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, a bit like Cook, I guess, because he's been playing poorly. You lose game 1 and you look at those,
Brimo was outstanding at fullback for Queensland a couple of years ago as well, so he's a pretty credible option.
I got to say, whoever's going to the fullback role for Queensland is in very good hands, and I think we know why. Billy Slater at the helm.
Yeah,
it's his specialty. They're going to get the most. Billy's going to get the most out of him, and they're going to go to another level. I say this to this day. He's the best. He's the most influential player I've ever played with. From a back three, vision. He's amazing, and I'm sure he's going to pass some of that on to KP.
Let's go wings and centres as one here, because I have a feeling we're going to mix these around.
So we're going to go 2, 3, 4, 5.
Let's go 2, 3, 4, 5. Ryan,
I've got Cobbo in.
You've got Cobbo in.
Yeah, I just think that if you throw a little bit of excitement into the team, I think that's what Slater might be going for. We've gone Dan Gagai in the centre, Valentine Holmes, Xavier Coates.
Yeah, I've gone Xavier Coates, Dan Gagai, Valentine Holmes, and Corey Oates. My reasoning behind picking Corey Oates over Selwyn Cobbo, I think Selwyn Cobbo's got a long career ahead of him in this arena, and I think he should be 18th man for this game and just get a feel of it. It's in New South Wales. It's a tough game to start your origin period with. I want to see him succeed, and there's been a lot of shouts about him. He played the Knights last week. All right, he broke tackles out of a team who are struggling.
Yeah.
So and they're going to be out to get him. When you're a debutant, you get all eyes on you. You get full attention.
Yeah.
They're going to kick to him. They're going to make him make plays. And I just can't see Bill putting him under that pressure straight away. He's been there before. He understands what the game's about. I just don't think they're going to do it to him. In saying that, if he does get chosen, I hope he, plays the house down. But Corey Oates for me is on the same level of tries. I'm pretty sure maybe one behind him. Selwyn's had 21 errors this year. Corey Oates has had way less, half of that. And for me, if it was the other way around, I'd be saying, OT, pack your bags. You're not playing Origin this year. So I gotta give it to Corey Oates. He's come back from the dead. He's scoring meat pies that I didn't think he had in him still. He might not be as fast, but he's doing those tough runs as well, finding his front. And I just think that he's having that experience in that realm. I think he'll live up to the meanings. Yeah.
Chris?
I've gone the same, except I've actually backed Cobbo in, which is going against some of the stuff, and I hear everything absolutely. I think you're on the money, Jharal. I just believe that Queensland need some X factor.
Yeah.
Corey Oates is not that. And the other thing is, talking to some people around the club, is he is mentally strong. So I remember multiple times as a journalist, clubs would basically, off the record, steer you against commenting and talking a player up. You get calls from coaches saying, mate, please, whatever you do not talk such and such up for Origin. He's not ready. You're doing him a disservice. Sometimes that's a selfish because the club wants the player during the Origin period. Other times it's generally looking after his mental health and he's not ready. I've heard the opposite this week about Selwyn, that he is ready and he will perform. The last thing you want to do is throw a kid to that environment, like you say, Jharal. But from what I've heard, he would excel in that environment.
Some clauses as well. Back in the day, if you do play Origin, you get a bit of extra money at the end of the year. So does he have that in his clause? I don't think he would, and that's probably why they're going, hey, go play Origin, buddy.
Yeah.
All in fair. Well, I've got a little bit different here. Coates and Gagai, clear picks. I've gone Kurt Capewell in the centres here.
You know what? I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
Perform well there. Yeah.
I don't hate it, but it's a tough job against Stephen Crichton and Katoni Staggs.
Absolutely. And I've picked Valentine Holmes out on that wing. Obviously, he's not a fullback in my opinion. He's obviously been very good in the centres for the Cowboys
but
this
he's been
year.
one of the best finishers.
I honestly just think he's one of the best wingers in the world. And that's
He
why I'm
runs a
picking
great
him.
line at centre, doesn't he? Like,
He does.
That
I
outside
think
in angle.
if Felt full flight, I would be picking Felt.
Oh, Felt's my Felt was
And
mine.
then
Yeah, instead
Holmes
of
in that
unfortunately,
position.
you know, for OT, I would have picked Kyle Felt. He's in form at the moment.
Yep.
And you know, unfortunately for him, he just falls out with injury. But yeah, I think Kyle Felt on the wing outside Val. It makes sense. So unfortunately, yeah.
In the halves, no one's picking anything other than Daly Sherry Evans
Yeah.
and
Yep.
Cameron Munster. You don't want to say anything about that. We can go straight to the front row. Who are we picking?
Papali and Tino for me.
Yeah, that's mine.
Yeah, and obviously Harry Grant.
Yeah.
I've picked Papali and Jai Arrow at starting prop. He played there a couple of times recently. Obviously, he doesn't quite have the size of some of these other blokes, but there's probably not a tougher bloke out in the field. He's another one of these guys that just finds their best.
Is he
in
welcome
Origin.
back though after his own Origin dalliance?
Oh, maybe not.
I think when Bill took over, I think they've just.
That's-
I think
yeah.
they've
Fresh,
wiped the
right?
slate.
Yeah.
They just need him.
Yeah.
So
There's a couple of potential hookers that we can pick here. I'm assuming
okay.
that we're going to. Sorry?
I thought you were going somewhere else.
First sexual innuendo.
Oh yeah.
Jeremy, actually, I got absolutely savage for referring to Apisai Kurosawa as a hooker. There's no such thing anymore. It's dummy half.
Well,
when have you seen someone hook a ball in the last 30 years?
Some guy on Twitter goes, "Yeah, I met a nice lady once."
There's actually a few of those hidden. I assume we're all going Harry Grant, but Reed Marnie an option, and probably the Hectic Cheese as well, third.
You can't pick the Hectic Cheese is he won't play for Queensland.
No. Well, he's an obvious third pick.
Oh yeah, I mean if there was anyone, I mean I'd love to see Cheese play for Queensland.
it'd be awesome.
It'd be amazing. The big Cheese.
Back row.
My back rows, it's Felice Kafusi and Kurt Capewell. Yeah.
Yeah, look, I've gone a little bit different here in the back row. I've gone for Bo Firma.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Just
Big body.
because, big body, but also athleticism. I think my sort of theory with this is Queensland's need to take some chances. Last few years, they've been quite conservative. They need some X factor. They need some athleticism, and they need speed. I feel like New South Wales without Turbo and Latrell are going to play a very predictable, more conservative style, grinding it out. I think it's a really opportunity for Slater to introduce some new blood and have some strike. And Bo Firma's a try-scoring back rower.
I like it. I don't hate it.
No, I've got exactly the same as Jharal. Yeah.
This is where I've slotted in Tino. He's in my back row with
Yep.
Felice Kafusi as well, 13.
Paddy Carrigan, for me, I just really think that he's matured at the start of this year, coming off a big injury. I love what I see about Patrick Carrigan. He punches holes. He can pass a ball, and I think as a 13, you need that. You need him to be everywhere. We've shown that he can defend as well. I genuinely think Pat Carrigan is going to be 13 for a very, very long time for Queensland.
He's good for 1,000 tackles in the field as
and
well.
and you know what? The other thing is he knows how Payne plays as well. It's going to be a great matchup there. You know, he'll get in front of Payne. They'll get in front of each other. They're good mates, but I know that arm wrestle between them two will be personal and it'll be good. Yeah.
Yeah, I've also gone Pat Carrigan 13, Chris.
Again, I've gone different. I've gone Ruben Cotter for
Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
speed around the ruck. Again, just with that attacking mindset up against the likes of Junior Paulo. I think someone like Ruben Cotter could really create havoc. Queensland have to take chances. I don't think Queensland can win playing conservatively, and I really think that's what the Blues are going to try to do, and they would do it better than Queensland.
Have you picked a 13?
Carrigan.
Yeah,
Great
okay.
minds think alike.
They certainly do. All right.
I like how, honestly, Chris, I like how you're changing it up though. Like I like how you've picked a few roughies. Like honestly, I do. I think it's probably, we never know. Come Sunday, come Monday, we could be sitting here and bowing down to the ground.
Yeah, look, I don't think he'll start Cotter, but I do believe he will pick Cotter in the 17. I don't see how you don't reward the Cowboys.
No.
Tal Lungy's a good chance on the wing too, I think.
Yeah, he's been playing outstanding. I think they're going to be loyal. I think they're going to be loyal.
All right, our bench, 14. Ben Hunt.
Yeah, it's easy. You know what? I didn't want to say it before, but he's a shout. He was a shout to be in that starting side. And I know him personally. He's been working his ass off too. And you know what? They're all mates, but he wants that position. So it's good to see I know he's going to be in the side because I mean, how can you not pick him on his form? He's third in the Dally M's, tied third, I think. Yeah, tied third in the Dally M's, and he just finds something, obviously, when he plays Origin as well. He can jump out. He's got that speed, we talk about for Origin. And, Ben Hunt, easy 14 for me.
I've filled out the rest of my bench with Jeremiah Nanai.
I've got him as well.
He's in there for me. I've put Tom Flegler in.
Yep.
Pretty capable, versatile forward.
And I've
got Cotter in 17.
Yeah, I've got Ruben Cotter in there as well.
Yeah, I've got Carrigan, Arrow, and Kafusi. I honestly just don't trust Flegler at this development stage to keep his shit together, basically. Yeah.
I've only put him in there because I want a bit of the C word. I want, and if there's a fight going down, I want him on the field.
Yeah, I think it's a liability. Like, I really do think that sort of attitude can be a liability, like it has been for Victor Radley and others. But geez, he is playing well. Tom is playing well,
and you know what? I actually had a chat to him last week. I caught up with him, and he said he's tried to, curve his aggression a little bit, and they've had a few conversations about that, and he's letting the team down from doing that, and they've been, which they haven't usually been in the last couple of years, been honest with each other, open and transparent in the dressing room. And I think it's a good thing. And hopefully if he does get picked, translate into the Origin.
And hearing that explains a lot about their form when you say that because like you say, I don't know as much as you in terms of the inner sanctum of it, but a lot of what I heard was there was just a lack of being afraid to actually just say you were shit.
Yeah.
And give constructive criticism. There was a lot of fragile egos.
Well, I think when you go back, that got done at the pub. You know what I mean? People are so touchy these days. You can't do that at those. You got to address them in the dressing sheds and in those team meetings on Mondays and the video sessions. That's where you win games, I believe. And that's why, someone like Craig Bellamy's been so effective for the last 10 years because he has the biggest video sessions and honesty sessions on Mondays, and that's how Melbourne are so good. And I think Kevy Walters has taken a little bit of that that he's learnt from Craig and put it into the video in the dressing room.
Any changes to that bench for you, Ryan?
No, not really. But do you guys think we see Nanai start at all?
No,
I don't. The series, nothing.
I don't think he starts. I honestly think he'll,
even if Colo doesn't fire in game one,
he could. But I just think what he's doing right now, he'll understand what it's like to play Origin. It's so fast. You've got to have people on there who can understand and not go 100 miles an hour and go at the gate. He plays like that. So bringing him off the bench and having that energy, I think, he's going to start soon. He'll be an Origin player for a while to come. But he's going to be he'll score a meat pie.
Yeah, I've never seen someone with the ability to read a kick like he can.
He should be a winger. I said on Twitter, he is a winger in a back rowers jersey. Yeah. That's what he is.
What a handy player to have. Well, two very, very good sides there. I think we're set for a pretty good game.
Oh, I'm frothing.
Wednesday. Well, I suppose it's 2 weeks today, isn't it?
Kept up quick.
Chomping at the bit, boys.
Look, I expect, in terms of just trying to, I guess, be neutral here, I do expect New South Wales to win, but I think this is going to be a great series. It'll go down in game 3. I think ittle be tight.
Yeah. I think there's so many times in history that you could write New South Wales off, but you certainly can never write Queensland
This is my favourite, by far, favourite part of the year.
Yeah.
Origin, the matchups, third-party deals that come through, they're just, it's just amazing.
Kick-ons at Fridays.
Boy, did we unearth a popular segment last week. Tweets and comments in response to our videos.
Can't wait. Bring it on.
Well, a lot of people had a lot to say about that Gus Gould chat last week.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes.
Yes!
I got some really good feedback too, actually.
Yeah.
Well, I picked all the negative ones.
Yeah.
So. Sucks for you.
Do you want to,
Gus sent me a really nasty message. No, I didn't.
I've seen he's been on a massive blocking spree.
I was already
too,
blocked.
so,
we used to,
were you? Okay,
no, we
right.
used to interact on Twitter a little bit, and he'd retweet the odd tweet. But I don't know, he went on a blocking spree when he joined the Dogs, and I was one of those who fell victim to his cutting us away.
I mean, there's not really much exciting coming out of there anyway, mate.
No,
no.
All right, Ryan, what have we got this week?
All right, so just to give some listeners a bit of context, Chris last week, he said that Gould is an asset to rugby league. All the codes would like someone as articulate. He has been a poor football GM for a decade now. The Panthers board wanted Ivan Cleary back and Gould didn't. That was pretty much the gist of it.
Truths.
So I've looked at Facebook and I've also looked at your personal Twitter account because there's some juicy ones on there.
Let's go.
So the first one is from Alex Pagonis, who says, "Who or what is Chris Garry?"
Look, a fair question.
Yeah. Peter Gibson, "Who are these nobodies and why should anyone care what they say?" Ian Plan, "Gus Gould is so overrated. So he coached a team of State of Origin players that were champions in the day. They would have done it without the tool."
Just a shot of gas.
He's nothing outside of New South Wales.
Lovely.
Sick of seeing him and can't stand his commentary. Bias, self-entitled dickhead.
Wow.
We go to your Twitter now, Chris.
Oh, they weren't on his Twitter.
This was our Facebook. So this one is from @KaneMC23. You've probably already seen these, Chris,
Yeah.
but
What does MC stand for, do you reckon?
not touching that. I think you'll find that he's also a dog shit commentator. And the last one, "What a crock of shit. Panthers were a rabble when he joined. He sorted investment, juniors, development pathways, etc.
No, he didn't.
All that paved the way for eventual premiership. And he didn't hire Brown at New Zealand, but why let truth get in the way of building your brand on bagging his name?"
What
Wow.
was his name? Nobody cares what his name is.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Well, he did recommend Brown, so that, he's wrong there. But look, no, that's great feedback. I actually had some good debate on Twitter. Some Panthers fans, we actually had some good back and forth, which I appreciate, and there were just some knobs as well. Thanks for giving them more
Yeah,
attention.
but thanks to
right?
those guys.
Did it take you a while to
develop?
develop thick skin when you first started?
Yeah, definitely. I almost got I got in trouble at the Courier Mail because I just went off at this bloke. I just joined the Courier Mail and I wrote some story. Some bloke went off at me and I just tore him to shreds. I got really personal. Like I did a search on him. I found stuff about him. And I just
slid into his girlfriend's DMs.
Yeah, no. And I got unloaded. Anyway, he made a formal complaint about me to the Courier Mail.
Wow.
And I've learned in that instant that that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
That you might think it's a good back and forth, but when you cross the line, people will actually make it a formal
That's what
issue.
they want too.
Yeah.
This Greg Davis guy just seems to have tweeted, "F you, Chris Garry," over and over again.
Is that our first F-bomb? I think
Could be. Just about enough of that. Let's get into some betting. All right, Ryan, we'll kick this off with how we usually do. Don't argue, but I am going to argue with you this week because I genuinely thought that this was going to be the two-try hero, Ruben Garrick.
No, look, this is one of the first weeks where we didn't have a hat trick. So I've gone Jeremiah Nanai this week. Double against the Storm, $14, boys. Has now scored 10 tries from 11 games this season. And only Pappenhausen has scored more. So that's not bad for a 19-year-old. I want to ask you guys, the area of Nanai's game that will likely prevent him from playing Origin, even though we've just all sort of agreed that he's going to be, he ranks second in missed tackles. Do you think that's something that's going to be a problem for him going forward, or is it just with experience he'll get better?
I think being at a level like Origin and being in camp, that makes you a better player. Like, yeah, if he goes into camp, he's going to be a better player in that. Not saying that the Cowboys aren't doing their job and, you know, whoever's doing the tackling there, but you just have the best of the best in there. And you're not only just learning from the coaches, you're learning off the other players that are in the team. You know, you're finding out, you know, different tricks to the trade that you can make your game better. And that's the beautiful thing about Origin. So if he goes in that camp and has the philosophy and hears how much they hate New South Wales, believe me, you'll make tackles.
Yep.
You'll make tackles.
And I think with him, it's just over-exertion. He's just too energetic, which is great in attack, but he has some bad habits.
A lot of these tackles, I think, are just, he wants to go out and hit people and they're falling off. I think it's easy fixable.
Who are our punters' pals in round 11?
Selwyn Cobbo, who we've already spoken about a fair bit. So he's now scored 2 tries or more in 4 of Brisbane's last 5 games, $6.20 for the double last week. And Ken Mamalo, he's now had his own double against the Dogs, paying $6, and he's now scored 8 tries in 9 games.
Oof.
Flying.
Ken.
Why haven't we had it in a multi yet?
Yeah, that's fair.
Because he plays for...
Say no more.
Open and shut, really.
Couple of round 12 tips. I like Justin Olam this week. He scored at least 1 try in each of Melbourne's last 3 games against Manly. Getting $2.55 there. And Katoni Staggs has scored in 3 of his last 4 against the Titans. $2.40 at Suncorp on Friday night.
Indigenous round 2. Obviously in contention hugely for the Blues. I think you'll see the best performance from Katoni on Friday night.
The Titans do tend to play well at Suncorp against the Bronx. Yeah, they've had some really shock wins in the last few years.
They've missed 98 tackles in the last 3 weeks, I saw.
Yeah, that's not a great thing. Yeah. So that's an issue.
Yeah. How are you feeling about the derby, Jharal?
Yeah, to be honest, I've never been more confident. I just think that anything that we've touched, like it's when you're winning, you're just winning. Like and I just feel like we're starting to get the fortress back at the Cauldron, Suncorp Stadium, Lang Park.
The crowd's back.
Yeah, it honestly, I'm even inclined. I haven't been to Suncorp and watched a game for a long. I'm inclined to go this Friday just to feel, and not sit in a box and not be sipping on champagne.
That was going to be my question.
I want to go
with the rest of us unwashed.
I want to go sit. I want to go sit with the punters. And I want to, I want to watch this derby get really ugly for the Titans. I think it's going to be a shellacking.
Yeah, one of the frustrations for me is that rivalry's never fired up, has it?
No,
it's been really boring. I mean, in the media, we've tried things. We've worked with the Broncos and Titans to really try promote it, and it's never caught fire.
Futures forecast. Let's do it. Premiership. So the Roosters are $9 out to 11. Sharks 13 back into 11. The Cowboys 17 into 11, and your Broncos, Jharal, 21 into 17. They keep firming.
Isn't $11 still just a great price for the Cowboys, given how
100%.
Well, I got on the Broncos at $21 last week, the Premiership.
Do you want to share the steak?
No, I don't. I like to eat my steak myself.
Any mad multis this week?
Hold on, Jared. We got to talk about Manly here, mate.
We don't.
Yes, we do.
The top 8. So they're $1.36 out to $2.50 now.
Yeah. Okay.
What's going on there?
Have you been watching them play football?
Yeah, I have, yeah.
This week, Turbo is out for the season now as well. I think that's pretty clear.
Rocky Boulder.
They're absolutely cooked.
Put a line for them.
I'd like to be proven wrong, obviously, but I think they're absolutely cooked.
The other one is just the Bulldogs, $2.75 into $1.75 for the spoon. Mad multis, though. So we had $50 into just over $20,000. I think this is the second week in a row where someone's backed the over and the line double. So he took over 42.5 points and the Broncos to cover. He took the over and 6 other legs. And then he also had the Tigers to cover versus the Bulldogs. So some pretty risky legs there.
What about bloody good bets?
15K on the Tigers to cover versus the Dogs.
Yeah, right.
And then we took 6K on Dallin Watine-Zelezniak anytime versus the Dragons. A lot of money for an anytime try.
Sort of a bit of meat.
Yeah, and 11K on the Sharks head-to-head, $1.46 versus the Titans.
That looked a pretty good bet.
Yes.
Finally, last but not least, don't tell the misso.
5K on Jermaine Asako anytime, and then 12K on Sione Katoa anytime. Yeah. Couple of rough ones there.
Jeez, you think people who made those bets hear this and it's going
yeah.
Well, I can guarantee you, they're probably not listening to this.
Yeah.
The missus gets hold of it anymore.
All right, Ryan, thank you very much.
Thanks, boys.
Wowee, I thought we were on again last week.
Yeah, who was that?
Well, I tipped the Broncos at the line. They got up easily. You tipped Ruben Garrick anytime try score. He ended up scoring first and twice. Chris Garry, Brian, what have you done?
Fire up, Brian. Come on, mate. Origin's around the corner. I thought he needs to lift.
I got to say this. You've been too safe for us. You went out very eccentric early in the rounds, and now you're just not doing it properly. I really wanted to swear a lot then.
It's not the first time I've heard that.
From a person who's deep voiced as well. You're just not doing it properly.
Deary me. I think the fact that James Fisher-Harris scored for them last week and Brian Tyers, pretty good indication as to how we've been going. You know, the upside of last week, though, is that the AFL guys nearly got one home and the only person who fell over was Greg Davis.
Thank you, Greg.
Greg,
fired up again.
Than's Greg. He just picked, I'm pretty sure he just picked the Lions to win outright or something, didn't he? 1-39, and they got done by the
I'm living rent-free in Greg's head. There is no doubt.
You are certainly in there, that's for sure. All right, well, a new week means, new prospects. Jharal, you're going to take us first this week.
Yeah, look, the Ford guide Fondler also said this. Sorry. I'm fondling, whatever I'm doing. Stop touching me under there, Ryan. You said it earlier, Ryan. You did, didn't you? That he would score a double. I've gone, oh my gosh. Jeremiah Nanai to score any time for the Cows against Melbourne Storm. I think it's a good bet, but it's a bit of money.
$5.40
Yeah,
we're getting for that.
but
leg.
honestly,
Is it really?
Absolutely incredible.
I honestly think he's going to get over, and we're just happy days for everyone. Yeah.
Positive vibes. I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, thank you.
Well, that's what we need in this. Chris, you're up second.
The Titaniums to beat the Broncos.
This is
I'm firing up here. You've asked me to bring something a bit exotic, so I'm going exotic.
Right on cue.
We also want to find
ridiculous.
winners.
I don't look. I wanted to get on this. I'm not getting on this now.
You
Hey,
should
trying to
though,
provide
punters.
some value. Trying to provide some value here and get us over $10 for the multi, all right?
All right, I'm going a little safer this week. I had a look at your two legs, and those two alone would have easily been our most lucrative multi. But of course, this is a three-way
Have you
bet.
brought us down?
Well, no, I haven't. I'm adding a leg. How could I possibly bring it down?
Okay, well, I'm just saying.
I'm just going a little safer. The Dragons are playing the Bulldogs. The line's 4.5 points. I'm taking the Dragons at the line.
Okay.
Oh,
That seems
that's-
wrong almost.
Yeah.
That line. Yeah.
Well, I was having a look through and just looking at what you two blokes did. Jesus. To recap, Jeremiah Nanai, anytime try scorer, Titans to win, Dragons to cover the line. What sort of price do you think we would have got for that?
$17.
Yeah, so. Yeah.
$31 we're getting for the Neds NRL Punting Podcast
That's why
multi this week.
it's the best
Get on it.
betting
Let's
platform
go.
ever.
Get on it. Punters, it's already built for your convenience. It's available under NRL round specials at neds.com.au or on the Neds app. If you're having a bet, always remember to gamble responsibly. All right, guys, it's almost that time again. Let's have a final thought. We'll start with you, Chris.
Manly season over, sack Des.
Yep, okay.
Wow.
Sack down.
No, I'm joking.
Outlandish.
No, but I'm
we
just.
were looking for something for the Twitter users to have a go at you for this week.
No, I just
and
think,
I'm starting at Jared Timms. You're a f***ing idiot, Chris. 2 beeps this week.
That's a big call. Like, I don't really have anything to say, but I'll embellish on that. That's big. That's a big call to make.
No, keep Des, but they're definitely not in the 8. I do have a going concern on the Storm too. I know they have players out, but they have surprised me how quickly they've wilted the last couple of weeks.
70 points in 2 weeks. It's very unlike the Storm.
It is.
I don't think I'd be worried. I mean, they're still sitting second.
If I'm a Storm fan, I am worried that that's not how they play, even
think
with players out.
If they're losing to Manly this week, that's probably a pretty
There's
big,
no chance that's happening.
Pretty big indicator.
Sorry to burst your bubble,
I've
champion.
agreed with you here. Let's move on. Ryan.
I want them to play well, but I don't think they're going to beat them.
I'm just looking forward to the jerseys on Indigenous
Yeah.
round. It's always a highlight. And also Saturday, I think we've got 2 top 8 games this week, maybe 3. But Sharks, Roosters on Saturday night. That's a big game for Cronulla to cement that spot in the top 4.
Yeah.
And Cowboys
Cows as well.
and Melbourne.
Yeah, that's the other one.
Yeah.
Panthers,
Yep.
All right, punters, that's going to do us for episode 12 of the Neds NRL Punting Podcast. Thank you very much for listening. Like, subscribe, leave us a review on your favorite podcast platforms. Subscribe to our YouTube channel now. That would be terrific. You can find us on the socials at Neds Oz. Enjoy the footy this weekend. We hope you find a winner. And if you have a bet, always remember to gamble responsibly.